Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to JBPG City, our City Skylines mass transit playthrough here on the PS4. And I haven't done a lot, I've kind of let the city breathe a little bit, and the population went up to a little over 60,000 and it's kind of just eased off just a little bit, so we're around about 57, 58,000 at the moment. But what I have done though, is I have started to put in our rail connections, so kind of plonked down this building here. Now this is the rail slash metro slash monorail hub, so you can see we've got space for two separate rail connections coming in, and then space for two separate monorail connections. And then I haven't looked at the underneath yet, but I'm guessing if we go into metro, because we haven't done metro yet, and we will be doing it on this section of land. Where is metro? There we go. You can see we have a metro stop here as well. So the metro will feed this area around here, and possibly, well, I don't think it can feed into that area there because we have obviously the canal here. But we have got the rail connections coming over here, and we can split that off. We can certainly feed this area here, and we can even feed it down here towards our sort of Briar Rose Heights area as well. So we have plenty of options that we can go with just there. Now it is turned off at the moment because nothing's built in the surrounding area. Got a little one-way road street, or one-way road network coming in around here, which is actually facing the wrong direction by the look of it. Yeah, it is. It should be going the other way around. There we go. And it's quite big at the moment. It doesn't necessarily need to be that big, but it gives me the option of putting in a few other bits. Plus, we need to keep that bit of space there free for our monorail tracks. Same on this end, our train tracks and our monorail tracks. And it gives me space along here to put in, essential buildings that we might need to put in here. So police, fire, maybe a health centre of some kind as well. Gives us a little bit of space to drop all that stuff in. Beyond that, not much else has changed, but I have gone ahead and started doing some zoning. So if I go to my infos, and where is the districts tab? I can never remember which one it is. There it is. So you can see I've added in... Oh, actually, I need to finish Pleasant Hills off. I've missed that little section off there. But I've zoned in this part of our little industry over here as Pleasant Hills. And then I've also zoned in the docks here as well. So let's just finish that zoning off. I want to get this nice and straight. There we go. So plonk that here in the corner. Draw that along. Let's just drop it down a touch more. There we go. Nice straight line. So that adds that section in, then we just fill in the gap. So we have Pleasant Hills as a district just here. We've got Belmont District, which will be our dock area just here. And then I've also started zoning in this area over here as well. So you can see I've got Lafayette Hills. This was one district. It was all Middle Hills. I've split it now, so we've got Lafayette Hills just here, which then is also going to cover this little bit for now. That may change. And then Middle Hills is now this large block here in the middle. It kind of makes sense, being called Middle Hills. And then this bit along the top here, and then curving around the side here. This is currently Bedford Heights. Now, we are going to continue expanding over here, so there's space for more stuff to make this district a bit bigger, and also for an additional district to potentially come into this space as well. Split that area in half and have a second district. And that's it. I haven't changed any of the other districts. They're all as they were. But that's essentially all I've done. Again, look at that sudden gap in the water. I don't know why the water keeps doing that. Just suddenly disappearing. And then... That's obviously got to have an effect on some things. I mean, if we had a hydro dam, that would potentially cause some problems. I have been toying with the idea of putting the hydro dam in around here, maybe taking this bridge out here and actually turning that into the hydro dam along there. A little worried about the potential knock-on effect, so we would over here. So we potentially have to either lower the bottom of the river a little bit, or we would need to raise the flood banks a little bit. We've got two options there, but I would like to potentially put in a hydro dam just here. So that's potentially the spot where we'll do it. We'll take out Lynch Bridge, which was always put in as a placeholder, and put the hydro dam in just there as an option for us. So you can see our demands are going up, which is quite nice. So we're going to start building into this area here today. So this is going to be kind of quite a uniform sort of area. So it's going to be quite grid-like in this section here. We've got our sort of free-form, sprawling kind of areas in this bit over here. And we're going to start getting into much more uniform areas over here because space is a bit more limited. But that said, I am going to make these these blocks have some decent space between them. So I like the idea of these roads being completely independent of the blocks themselves. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run the roads. Let's get to a straight point here. I'm going to run the roads like this along here. If I run to, say, there for now. And this gives me a 5 grid. So if I pause for a second, this gives me a 5 grid block in here. Now, what will happen is when we do go in and actually zone stuff in, we'll be building 4 blocks deep, which is the deepest you can go on a single building, and we'll build like that, and we'll have this kind of gap between the back of our houses and the main road. So that the main roads will be here, will just be roads. They won't have anything built up along the side of them, because these are going to be our main carriageways, and we may need to upgrade these to triple lanes in the future. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. So this is all going to be high density stuff, but that's just to give you a visual representation of what we're going to do. So I need to dezone that now. There we go. So let's start building in these, and I also want to leave gaps between each block as well. So we could go with a 1 space gap. I'm actually going to go with a 2 space gap between each block. And this is twofold. One, it's going to hopefully allow us to put in some decent kind of support buildings, but it also gives us space for metro stops and things like that as well. So let's connect these roads up, and we will have multiple roads that will feed off down into these areas. I hate when you get two lines that get really close and you can't snap to the one you want. If I take that out. That was the problem up here. There we go. Now I can snap there more accurately, and that allows me to then join these up. Dezone that. There we go. So we've got some good spaced out areas here, and then, as I say, hopefully some of the buildings that we want to drop in will fit in a bit better around here. Let me bring a road down here. I'm not sure if I want to... Yeah, let's have a feed-in road just there as well. Like that, obviously two-way. We've got our nice 2-space gap there still, which works really, really well. And then we've got more space we can go into over here. I don't want to go too crazy with the building, because I do need to be wary of where the railway is going to go. But I think that should work quite nicely there. Let's put another line in up there. These are pretty unevenly spaced blocks, actually. Let's take these ones out. see. This is where it gets confusing when you've got multiple droppers like this. See, ideally we want that to go there, so we can do that. So we can take that out like that, bring that down to there like that, and we can reconnect that up just there, and then this way we can actually have multiple sort of connections going up to this road here if we want them. I like the idea of one there and one there as well, but that one's too close to the roundabout, so we'll leave that one as it is. And then obviously we can come down this way as well. Can't quite go as far as I'd like to. Let's go there. Go, and then we'll put a road along the edge, and again we've got some space we can go into just here. And we can build a connecting road in that way as well. Yeah, that's not too bad. That works quite nicely. So need to rebuild this connection here. Take that out a bit more to there, like that. And then we want that little connecting road in again, don't we? There we go. Yeah, I like that. That'll work. So we have a nice, good grid system, block just there, and I can't go any further, and I need to be wary, obviously, about these monorails running along here. So I've got to make sure I don't zone too much along there. I don't know if the monorails are going to go out on this side. They probably won't. They will go out on this side to feed into that area over there, and perhaps also into that area over there. So we'll have like a little rail, sort of monorail connection in some way, shape, or form. Mainly I just wanted a smaller station with a double track platform like this rather than having the big 6-track platform, because we don't have that much rail, and because we're trying to mix in all these different types of transport methods, those big 6-train platforms or 6-platform train stations are a bit too big. It'd be nice if we had one that was, say, a 3 or a 4, or a little bit of variance in there. We'll settle for the 2 like this, so we can have 2 separate lines, because that's 2 trains per platform. So you've got 4 trains that can come in here all at the same time, and all be on independent independent lines, have their own dedicated platforms. And that's not to stop you from doubling up some trains on some platforms either. So you could potentially have as many in there as you wanted. It just might get a bit crowded, but you can comfortably get 4 trains in there all at the same time. All arriving and departing at exactly the same time with no delays, which is really good. So now that we have that, let's put in a train link. Now we have this one train that kind of runs across the entire route. Oh, and that forest is burning. Look at that. Makes the whole footpath glow bright red. That's kind of cool. Let's go in and modify our train line. So, oh, actually no, because it's a separate platform, isn't it? So, that's something we could do. We could actually run 2 different passenger services. So, let's start with a train that's just going to run from here. So, we want it to start on this platform. I don't have to worry about choosing the colour, by shifting it around constantly now. We'll get it, because I can manually go in and change it, can't I? That's awesome. We'll get that to come in there, and then that's just going to go back to there. So there you can see each route has its own dedicated platform going into that station. Excellent stuff. And now we also want another train. That's going to start here. And this one's going to run down to these stations. So do I want to stop at all the stations? Well, I definitely want to stop at Gyatta Square, because that's quite a big job hub. And then I might just leave it at that, actually. Might just run to Gyatta Square, and then we've got the local line then that can deal with everything else. So we'll go there, and then we'll just come back. And then complete that line, and now we have each of those on their own dedicated platforms. And the easiest way to do this is to choose where you want your lines to start. So because they will always start, because we've got left-hand traffic, the train lines will run left-hand traffic as well. So if you want your train to start on the appropriate platform, then that's where you start the line from. If you want the train to come in on the opposite platform, then that needs to be the turn point of the journey. It's like the halfway point. So that's your arrival destination, and then it then returns back on the same route. So we had our green train, which starts all the way. Where is the green train? It starts all the way over here. So it starts here, and because this is the starting point, it's always going to be on that left platform. So that runs along here, and it hits all the platforms on the left each time it goes through. So left, then left, and then into here, comes in on the left platform there. And then as it's coming in, so it stays on that line, and then as it comes out, it then switches onto the outbound track, and then follows that all the way through, and then hits, on the left hand side again, but this time in the opposite direction. So technically that would be the right hand platform, and it does that all the way down, gets back to its start point over here, and then because this is where the line terminates, it switches back onto the main platform, its starting platform just there. Now, because this train is doing that and is going in on that platform there, that's fine. But say that's the station there, that's the inbound platform, so that's the right hand platform, which is what you want. This line starts here, which is why it's on this left hand track, and then that will go out that way, and then it'll come back in on the right hand lane, and then switch back to the left hand as it approaches that station. So that's why that one there is on a separate platform. And then as it arrives in here, this is the halfway point. So again, the blue line is the left hand line. The right hand line is the creamy coloured one here, sort of a mustardy, this one. So it's coming in on the opposite platform. It's coming in on the right hand platform, because it doesn't start here. Now if we started this line here, then it would be on this line, and then when it got to this station, it would go in on the same line as the green train, because that wouldn't be the origin point. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but visually you can see the effect. So if I were to start a new line, where is our station? There we go. If I was to start a new line here, for example, on this platform, it would start here, and then I wanted that to go in here, then it would go in on this green platform here, which is already occupied. There's already a service on that, and it wouldn't use this free line here. And I can show you that by dragging our blue line, if it'll let me select it. Yeah, there we go. So if I move this, now this leaves from the same point, as you can see, but we made this the start point of the line. So it's on that left-hand platform. It comes down this way, and then as we drag that up to here, you can see it's going in on the same line as the green train, and that's not what we want. We want them to have their own dedicated platforms. So you have to kind of think ahead as to which train is going to depart from which station, so that when they reach the terminus points, like this particular station here, they're not clashing and they're not landing on the same platform, because then they're just queuing, waiting. So that's why we have two different services, and they've each got their own platform there. And then in this station we have two different services, and they've both got their own platform there. They're not clashing because they're starting and finishing at different points. That's why that's opened out like that. So now we can go in and we can kind of tweak these lines a little bit in terms of their colour. So actually we're going to need a train to run for that. So let's turn the station on. There we go. We should now, hopefully, start to get trains running as soon as we get time moving again. But we need to get water in this area first of all. So let's plumb in our district. Start there. And the good thing about having districts that are nice and grid orientated like this makes it very easy when you're planning in your water pipes. You know, you can just draw the lines quite easily, and they stay in that nice, you know, uniform grid line. There we go. I'm actually going to need to extend this one out a bit. Take it to there. There we go. And then this one, we need to bring this down. Take that across to the same point. And there we go. We have our nice, simple grid system there. And then we've got this water line that already runs along here. So let's just utilize that. Bring that up here. Run straight through. There we go. Now we're probably going to need to increase our sewage output because I don't think we're going to have enough going forward once we start bringing in high density into this area. But it gets everything kind of up and running. Let's start putting in some of the basic stuff that we're going to need as well. So this is going to be a big area, so we're going to want big services. So let's put police and fire there, and then health. Do I want a hospital over here? I should have a hospital over here. It won't quite fit in that block, or that block. Oh, that's interesting actually. What we can do is we can take that out a little bit. Let's put the hospital in there. Let's get our one-way roads back. So, come on, let me. It's not going to let me do it. I'm going to have to just change the direction of the roads. I can do it now. There we go. So we've got our little one-way bits back in, and then we can get our connecting road running along the bottom there. Fantastic. So we've got hospital, police and fire all where they need to be, and with good quick access out in any direction, or most directions. What else are we going to need? We're going to need education. Where shall we put the education? How about education goes over here on this kind of corner? So let's put in the school, or the basic school there. Let's put in a large playground. Okay, so that we need to move the school across just a touch. There we go. Perfect. Put the large playground on the corner, and then on the other side of that we'll put in our elementary school, sorry, our high school just there. I'm not going to worry about a university, but I might, if I can do it. Yeah, I'll squeeze a campus on the end there as well, and we may relocate that, but that'll do for now. Excellent stuff. Metros. We'll add the metros in later. Let's get this area up and running first of all. Power. Have we got power in the area? Yes, we do. Excellent stuff. So let's start zoning some stuff in. So I'm going to want some residential in these areas. Let's put in a bit of commercial actually in these central blocks. I don't want to go too crazy with the commercial. We'll get some offices in around here as well. That's the monorail section, isn't it? Yeah, I'll take those out. Until we know what we're going to do with the monorails. Like I said, I'm probably not going to put anything in on the monorails, on this side, so I might as well just go ahead and do that now. That'll be kind of like a terminus point. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's start getting some people in. We could actually start looking at some of our special buildings as well. So let's see. Let's get a driving range in if we can. Just trying to find the right space for it. Might put that in somewhere else. What's this? The Fantastic Fountain. I like the idea of that being in somewhere over the businessy area. Let's put the Fantastic Fountain in just here, near the hospital. Football stadium. We still haven't done the match day stuff yet, have we? It makes a lot of sense to have that near our transport sort of connection over here. I think the football stadium would probably be better served somewhere over there. Ooh, our new trains are up and running as well. Let's pause for a second. Let's utilise our new transport colour system. So, train line number 3. Let's change the colours. So let's have a dark blue there, and then the other one, we'll make that an even darker blue. There we go. So we've got two blue train lines going into that district there. And we should see the other one coming in. Is that going in on the same platform? Nope, that's the other line, look. There we go. Awesome stuff. Brilliant. So those trains are just going in and out the station at the same time without getting in each other's way. That's obviously really important so that it keeps the network moving nice and smoothly. And we should have the same over here as well. Yeah, see the trains going in on alternate platforms. Oh, that's kind of a purpley colour actually, now we can see it. That's fine. But yeah, you can see how they're not holding each other up. They're not getting in each other's way. The only wrinkle to that is when we get a tourist train coming in like that from an external connection. See, we've got one there, look. But our rail hub now running very, very nice and smooth. Excellent stuff. Just gonna get a screenshot here for the thumbnail. So, I do like this this bridge here as well. They're both in position. Obviously, we don't have anything going out on the other line yet because we haven't constructed it. But we are seeing, a nice sort of movement of the traffic where it's starting to use multiple routes now to get around, which is great. So some's using that connection there, some of it's using this connection here. It's great to see that different routes are being used. It's not all just going in one way. Getting very busy all of a sudden as we've got commercial and industrial traffic coming in, but we've also got a lot of extra vehicles coming in because they're building houses and they're coming from the nearest freeway connection. So we need to upgrade the roundabout, make it a bit bigger. Let's make it triple lane. There we go, that should help speed things up a bit. Hopefully. It's not a huge roundabout, but I didn't think it would need to be, with only 3 connections there. You see a lot of traffic is just going to be using that inside lane primarily because they're all going to be turning into the district. Hopefully it's not going to cause major traffic issues. We should be good. You can see this area building up quite quickly. We are getting some trash collection issues over here. It's not a question of capacity, I don't think. Let's check the info views. Yeah, we've got plenty of capacity left. I think it's just, getting the trucks out here. So where is the nearest trash truck unit? I think it's probably going to be those ones over there. Because the other one is all the way down there. So yeah, it's probably just a delay in getting trucks out there. And all that new traffic coming into this area. We'll have to keep an eye on this. It might become slightly problematic going forward. Just want to see any of this traffic. Is it all turning, or is there? Oh, there is traffic that wants to go straight on as well. Look, so why aren't they in the other lane? Oh, this is what infuriates me about the logic of this traffic. It's so stupid sometimes. All right, well we can fix that. And then again, there are going to be the busy bits potentially. Let's just make this whole thing triple lane along there. Try and encourage correct lane use if we can. See again, look, I wish that was just a dedicated left-hand turn and then 2-lane traffic on. Well, maybe we change that. Yeah, there we go. That worked. So that's the problem sometimes when you want to have these junctions like this. They only work in certain ways. So we have a dedicated left-hand turn lane now, and then 2 lanes going into a 2-lane there. But obviously the problem is that you can't do it on the other side. That's frustrating. And all this traffic, look, it's still the same problem. So again, we've got to put a dedicated turning lane in by doing that. Now, some of this traffic is now obviously in the wrong lane, so it's going to have to wait. But that should hopefully speed up traffic pulling into the district. It will certainly free up some of the traffic on that wants to go straight on, because now there's no dedicated. That's not an either-or lane; it's a dedicated right turn lane. so it won't hold up other traffic, hopefully. It's just, it makes the city roads look really ugly when you have to kind of do these weird little switches like that. It's really frustrating. I wish there were better road design options. I mean, there are so many wonderful road mods that you can get on PC. They're obviously just they're mods, so you can do whatever you want with them. But the ability to have a triple lane road like this, but ghost out individual lanes in places, would be really good. You know, put like the hatching to say that, you know, it kind of creates like having one of these concrete dividers, but without having the concrete, just having the painted lines separating, you know, the two flows of traffic. Or having more options like this asymmetrical road. I mean, I love this. That's great, but why can't we have one of those for 2 and 3 lanes rather than 1 and 2 lanes? Why not have an asymmetrical 5-lane road? That would be brilliant. Unfortunately, we don't have it. We have, you know, the monorail tracks and the large avenues, and again, you know, the 6-lane roads haven't been touched. So it'd be really nice to have an asymmetrical road that was the next stage up from the 1 and 2 lanes, so that we could go 2 and 3, and then we could really work these junctions the way they're supposed to be worked, and get that dedicated, you know, turning lane situation like this, but only where you want it, not on every single junction, or, you know, on both sides of the road. That would make things better, I think. So you can see our traffic is certainly flowing a lot better now. Now that A, the vast bulk of the traffic that was coming into this area has arrived, and B, we've improved our sort of lane management a little bit over here with that little switch from 2 to 3. Still a slight delay getting our trash trucks over here, but we can live with that. Now, as far as this rail connection goes here, that's probably going to... well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with both. I might only use one of these train lines coming out. I haven't decided yet. In which case, it'll be probably this one. I don't know. I really don't know. So I do kind of want to curve these away and around this way into this space here, so I can then extend this district out this way a bit more as well, without the railway getting in the way, or having to create lots of, you know, bridges going over the top of it, which will look quite steep. I could, I suppose, actually lower the terrain a little bit for the train tracks and drop them down into a little bit of a valley, and then have the road go over the top, kind of like what we've done with our freeway. So, like this, for example, have the train tracks recessed down a little bit and have the roads go over the top. That might be a bit easier, but it's quite tricky to, you know, because you have to be really careful, because you essentially have to build bridges. So you have to play around with the heights of the surrounding areas, and obviously we've got 2 different heights on this bit here, which is why we have these sloped bridges. And I thought about maybe squaring them off, but I kind of like, you know, the differences in height, so it's not a major thing. But as we've done over here, where we've recessed this down, you know, you have to build a bridge to actually get your road to go over the top. Otherwise, it'll just try and connect down to the road that you've already done. It'll be the same with the railway. We could have the railway going down, but the road will try and go down and form a level crossing. So we'll have to build the bridge over that. So we'll have to be really careful with how we put our edges on the recessed sort of valley that the rail lines are going in. It's fiddlier than it looks. It looks like it's quite a simple thing to do, but it actually gets quite fiddly. So let's start zoning a district in for this area here. Let's square up the cursor. There we go. So I want this to kind of run up to here, like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to build all the way out yet. There we go. We'll tidy this up again in a moment. I just want to get the basic kind of shape. Start blocking this in. I'll leave this as one district for now, but this could potentially get split into two as it increases in size. And I just need to accommodate the station. So we'll draw that up to there. There we go. Right, let's continue zoning this area. So I can take these these power lines out now. That's probably going to cut power over there, isn't it? All that power isn't going to get fed over here. That's fine. We'll take those all the way out like that. Actually, no, we'll leave that there. That should be okay. Let's have a quick look at what that's done to our zoning. Okay. So I need to basically delete all of this stuff here. Pause before anything else tries to rebuild in the same location. Okay, there we go. That's fixed that. That will now rebuild and fill that area. Do I want to build offices along here as well? I think I do. Let's get some more residency in here. Through there, and then maybe a little bit more commercial. And I want to select this one. Because again, I don't want them to go all the way up to the road. It's two separate blocks. That's probably a bit too much, but we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to make that one residential. There we go. And do I do that as residential as well? Yeah, let's do that one as residential as well. So let's clear that one out, rezone it. And there we go. So this area is really starting to come along quite nicely. Those buildings are pinging like crazy. Let's start looking at putting in some more unique buildings. We've got some plazas, mall of moderation. Yeah, we could try and squeeze the mall of moderation in somewhere. Obviously not right next to the station. What else have we got? Fountain of Life and Death, Friendly Neighbourhood Park. Have we not put that one in yet? I thought we had. That's actually one of the smaller parks. Let's put the Friendly Neighbourhood Park just there. What else can we put in? A Grand Library. The Oppression Office. Pyramid of Safety. And then we're back to the beginning, I think. No, not quite. A few more uniques. Here we go, this is what I'm looking for. Some of the some of the Art Deco buildings. What have we got that we could potentially drop in? These are skyscrapers. Don't really want those in here just yet. I want those a bit further in on the other side of the road. Software development studio. Space shuttle launch site. I could put another TV studio in. Again, I think we'll develop this area here. That's where we'll put some of the skyscrapers and Art Deco stuff in there. No space for any of these landmarks. Traffic's flowing quite nicely through here. It's good to see that they're all using the main road along the top before they're turning in as well. That's what I was hoping I would see. So Manor Hills is coming along quite nicely. What was the other one I was looking at? That was the oppression office, wasn't it? There we go. It won't go. I thought that would fit quite nicely along the back of the railway, but just a little bit too big, unfortunately. It won't sit on the edge there, same reason. Could put the oppression office there, actually. Yeah, that works. Fantastic stuff. So, so Manor Hills has really come alive quite quickly. I like that. I'll need to think about how I'm going to expand into this area, how I'm going to lay the roads out. Probably something a little bit similar. You know, this kind of grid system over here. Once the roads are all in place and we've finished zoning the area, then we'll start to look at putting in our metro system so we can connect it to our train hub. We also need to think about how the train's going to connect over here. So we might change the bottom part of Lafayette Hills over here so we can have a rail connection coming out across the river this way, which then may in turn change where that's located. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Right, last thing that we need to do before we end the episode is to put in another subscriber name. So it is time for Ian Sargent has requested a district. So I'm going to start zoning out some of these ones over here that haven't been done yet. So we've got Pearl Park, Sunset Park, Strawberry District, Briar Rose Heights. I'm going to make this Sargent Heights, I think. So let's go into our district naming tool. So there we go. Sargent Heights labelled in there for Ian Sargent. Don't forget, do keep those requests coming in if you would like to be featured in JBPG City and have either a district or a road name. Now that we have the ability to manually choose colours for our transport routes as well, if you want to have a bus company and choose the colour of your buses, do that by all means. Then I will, create a series of bus lines for your particular company. So for example, we have over here, where is our bus depot? I'm trying to remember where we placed it. There it is, in Baxter Square. So you can see we have all these different bus lines here at the moment over here. Now we're going to add more bus districts or more bus routes in over here, because we have a bus depot over here as well. But if you want to have a bus company that runs a specific area and has a specific colour of buses, or you want to run the monorails and you want a specific colour for your monorails, let me know. I will be able to sort of work those in where I can. So we could colour all buses that cover a certain region in a particular shade of blue or green or red or whatever colour you chose. If you want pink buses, we can do pink buses. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see and how you'd like to be incorporated into the city, and we can add those in. You know, we've done requests like that for some people already. So over here we have Pecky Lane, which services Pecky's Limited, which is our rail hub, and that's for Martin Peckover. We also have Binney Street for Adrian, so that he runs like the waste disposal over here. So there are different businesses and opportunities that we can use to incorporate you in there as well. And obviously last episode, sorry, we added in Muzz Station for Mark Murray as well. And we added Muzz Station over here. Not over there, sorry. Over here. No, that was the station. So you can see there's Muzz Street there, which feeds into Muzz Station. So you know, if you want to be incorporated into the city in a way like that, rather than just having a road name or just a district name, then do, as I say, let me know in the comments. We'll add you to the list and we'll get you incorporated as those opportunities arise. So that is it for me for this episode. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob. I'll leave you with our brand new district and the rain, and I'll see you all again with another episode of JBPG City and some more mass transit very soon.